Hello, class. Dr. Jeannie. It's week 8. I cannot believe that we have finished up this course this quickly. Time is just flying, although it's also taking forever since most of us are on lockdown and isolation. I hope you're doing well. I hope that everything's good with you. And again, if you need anything from me, please call me. And I will be glad to speak with you and talk with you about whatever we need to talk about. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about this week. You have one discussion question that's mandatory, and that is the one on virtual communication, Skype, and like I'm doing Zoom. And I cannot think of a better time to have this conversation or to discuss this in the class than right now, because all of business is now being conducted virtually. And the only people who are traveling to meetings or going to meetings are people who are essential personnel, and that's not very many people. So we're talking to each other visually, and you could see people are kind of like sliding sideways as what's going along, or they'll mute their camera and they'll mute their phone, and so that you can't hear them, you can't see them, and they're in their pajamas, and we're just kind of making the best of it we can. So we're going to talk about some of the barriers that virtual communication does provide. And you can see people who are trying to have their kids continue their education online and virtual meetings with teachers and trying to figure out how to do math, how to do new math, how to do complex math, which eludes me, some of it. Even though I have graduate and doctoral hours in statistics, some of the new math eludes me. But I know, and some of you are dealing with this, and I applaud you for struggling through it. But we're going to talk about how does virtual communication bring the world closer together, and what are still some of the barriers with virtual communication. So that's your discussion question. Big piece this week will be your final project, due in Unit 8. I am going to, and hear me well on this one, because I want you to follow exactly what I'm talking about. I am going to put a template for a table of contents on the announcements page. All you have to do is fill in the numbers, nothing else, because I'm giving you all of the categories that you need or subjects that you need that you're going to cover in your paper. And I'm taking it directly from the assignment, the instructions, whatever. So once you get your paper all put together, the table of contents is the last thing you're going to do. And you can look at it and it'll say introduction, and the introduction is going to be on the executive summary is going to be actually on page 1. Your introduction is probably going to be on page 1 or 2, and so on, so on, so on, with the conclusion at the end, and your final page will be your reference page, pages. Some of you may have more than one page, pages. Don't touch the table of contents except to put the numbers in, because if you touch it, you may mess it up. And I'm not fussing at you guys, I'm fussing at myself, because you don't know how many iterations I made on the template and table of contents when I was doing my doctoral study. They gave us everything. And you just had to type in the numbers, and it had the macros in it, so it would automatically pick up the page section numbers. Yeah, well, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But I'm giving you what you need. I'm also going to upload a copy of a page out of one of my papers with level 2 headings on it. Level 2 headings, your main title on page 1 is your level 1 heading. Next headings are going to be centered to separate the sections of the paper. So I'd really like to see you do executive summary, introduction, problem statement, SMART goals, solution, those things, each of those sections. That way, it's doing both of us a favor. One, you can make sure you've covered all the assignments and you have all the components there. Number 2, it helps me to grade, because I have to do a really, really fast turnaround on these papers, because I have to have grades in by Monday. Your papers are due by Sunday. So, I mean Saturday. I'm telling you the wrong thing. Saturday midnight, I cannot take a late paper. I cannot. Because I've got to turn those things around in 24 hours. So with that being said, if you are behind, please catch up. If you need anything this week, if you need to talk to me about your assignments, please talk to me. Now, the final thing. I heard from one of you this week, and I don't think she'll mind me using this as an example. She was a little confused about the way I graded the paper, because I put a number in there that wasn't the real grade, but I put it in there so I could send the paper back. I can't send the paper back without a grade. So that's what I need you guys to understand. So if I put a really low grade on your paper and I put don't panic, that means fix what I'm telling you to fix and resubmit. Then I can change the grade, but I've got to put something in there just to send the paper back. All right. So I hope I'll be try to be more clear on that. Again, I hope you're doing well. If you need anything, let me know. You guys take care, and it has been a great pleasure working with you. And if you feel so inclined to do the end of course evaluation, please do so. I do look at the comments. I do take things seriously, and I appreciate the feedback. I've enjoyed working with all of you, getting to know you. It's a little difficult when I have so many students to have that one-on-one conversation, but I think we've worked through it pretty well, and you guys have done a bang-up job of working with each other and responding to each other and being supportive of one another. And that's what's really important. And with that, my final thing I'll say is I got a phone call today from someone I work with on my doctoral program. He lives in Canada, and he was just calling to check on me. So it's those relationships that you make during your time at school that will stick with you, forever. And I hope that he and I will stay in touch forever. He finished his doctorate in December, and I was so proud of him. He was 3 years behind me because of life circumstances. But, it's a nice thing to have somebody in your corner cheering you on. And always know that I'm here cheering you on. Even though you move on to your next classes, I'm here cheering you on. So take care. And if you need anything again, call me. Bye.